But our work is really just getting started. Stephanie Isaacs is going to tell you that today is the day the MOUs get signed, dollars get committed by the end of the year, and spending, the dollars have got to be spent by the end of 2026, so we've got to get to work. This is really just the end of the beginning, and now the real work begins to commit the funds. So, you know, it's exciting. I was talking to an acquaintance of mine a couple of months ago, and he said, you know, Hugh, that the state has made more progress in its workforce development, the planning, and the doing in the last 2 years than maybe in the last 20 years. And he's been around for over 20 years. And really, that, I believe, is a tribute to our governor, the vision and the determination of our governor to not only understand the critical needs in the workforce and the employers, but also to see it through and actually get the wheels of government institutions all moving in the same direction to make that happen in a coordinated effort for the benefit of our citizens and our workforce and our employers. So we've come a long way in 2 years. We've got a long way to go. But Governor, thank you for your leadership. And it's a distinct honor for me to introduce you, our 47th Governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Good morning. Thank you, Hugh, for the introduction and for the incredible work that you are doing and have done to lead this project and this effort, working alongside Mike Rogers, our state's chief workforce officer, and always the best dressed at every event. Nobody else can pull off that shirt and boots quite like Mike does. And Cody Waits, who we also convinced to come back to state government and is the executive director of the Arkansas Workforce Connections. And this team, Cody, Mike, Hugh, all of this group coming together, working tirelessly to break down silos and make sure that government is actually working with the private sector, with our institutions of higher ed. It's something new that we're trying here in the state of Arkansas, and I think it's going to be very successful, and I'm really proud to work alongside each one of these individuals. I've been lucky enough as governor to preside over month after month of record-breaking jobs numbers. It seems like companies large and small that call our state home can't stop hiring people, and we're pretty excited about it. Seeing those numbers, it's easy to think that all of the growth comes naturally. But the truth is there is a time business hires a new employee. There isn't a time that a business hires a new employee, that worker represents years and years of investment from their family, from their community, from their school, and from the state. Throughout my first 2 years in office, we focused our attention on that process. It's why I was so eager to pass Arkansas Learns, because the investments that we make in our kids' education have a payoff many years down the line. And it's why during this upcoming legislative session, we're going to put our focus and expand on education to higher ed and job training programs. In the meantime, we're all here today to announce the recipients of the Hired Grant Program. There are 19 different schools and organizations receiving $48 million in grants today, focused specifically on workforce training. It is an exciting day in Arkansas. One of the best things about the Hired program is that it's a collaboration of the public and private sector working in tandem to build a workforce that supports Arkansas's fastest growing industries. As I've traveled the state over the past 2 years, I've had the chance to meet with many of Arkansas's business leaders. They always ask me where they can find more employees. Hired grants are going to be a big part of that solution. The focus on existing industries is why we're announcing $5 million for Southern Arkansas University Tech in Camden, focused on aerospace and defense manufacturing, one of the fastest growing industries in our state. One of the first trips I made as governor was to an aerospace production facility down in Camden. The men and women working there were so excited about their jobs, they were actually starting to name their kids after the missiles that they were producing. which seems like a really great thing until a few years from now when the kindergarten class there in Camden has 4 strikers and 3 javelins all in the same class. But it's a positive thing. Grants like this one ensure that those kids can take over their parents' jobs 20 years down the line. Another massive and growing industry in our state are our steel manufacturers in Northeast Arkansas. I had a chance to visit the Nucor Yamato factory in Blytheville this time last year, which is part of the network of facilities that make Mississippi County, Arkansas, the top steel producing county in all of America. The workers up there loved their jobs, and many of them were making 6 figures, which is huge anywhere, but especially in that part of our state. The only problem, a lot of them are not from Arkansas. They come from Tennessee, Missouri, and other states. This grant program helps solve that problem. We're giving $7.5 million to Arkansas State University to support their advanced manufacturing program with a special focus on steel. Arkansans will be able to grow up in Northeast Arkansas, go to school in Northeast Arkansas, and find a great paying job right there at home in Northeast Arkansas. Another growing industry in our state with significant potential is lithium. A report just came out suggesting that Arkansas alone could meet the entire world's demand for lithium. And the companies I talk to aren't sitting around and waiting on that to happen. They're on the ground investing in Arkansas, ready to get started right now. As part of the Hired Grant program, we're investing $325,000 in lithium-focused training at South Arkansas College in El Dorado, and another $500,000 in lithium program at the Arkansas Venture Center here in Little Rock. This industry has the potential to transform South Arkansas, and my administration is going to build the workforce that can help make it possible. I want to again thank the great men and women at the Department of Commerce and the Arkansas Division of Higher Education who have helped coordinate this program. And I also want to give a huge congratulations to each of the recipients in the crowd today. We're signing the checks, but we're counting on you guys to do the work. And we would not be here, and this program cannot be successful without you. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for your leadership here in the state. And I'll now turn it over to our Chief Workforce Officer, Mike Rogers, to take it from here. Thank you so much.
The governor offered congratulations. I'm here to offer you condolences because those parking spots up front weren't there for you to come in and so you can leave quicker and go to work. So many great things happening in the state. I look at the map, and one of the pleasures I have of traveling the state and getting to see the amazing things happening for Arkansas. You know, this process, and you can't beat a process when you have great people involved in a strategy that is so unified. It has been a pleasure to get there. Several that might not have been qualified this round, there will be more. It's almost like the parable of the talents. When you've been faithful with an amount, how much more is given? But this wasn't a personal decision. There wasn't any politics or bias, and it wasn't even government. This was a business decision. Who are we as a state? Where does it make sense? But I want to get past that to the idea of this is kingdom work. It is meeting people where they are. It's transforming lives for rural Arkansas, for metro areas, for the places, the men and women that need the next step of talent recognition and what they can do. It is our job to influence and guide and share and cast a vision of what they've been created for, to be able to manifest a way that they can break so many cycles of poverty, incarceration, mental health, and substance and suicide, all these pieces, and it comes through the way that meaningful work is celebrated. As I'm in this room, maybe the most uneducated person in the room, looking at all the vast years of influence that many of you have had and the work that you've done, I thought originally in this role, when I was asked to be appointed and take this role, I thought, I'm not sure I'm ready for government. And now I'm not sure government's ready for me. Because we're at a place where we're making decisions, putting our money where our mouth is, we're backing it with investments, but we expect an outcome. We expect an outcome and change lives. We expect a pathway and a management system that allows people to every 6 months identify another career opportunity, another incentive for pay, and how do we grow our greatest commodity. The same thing we do with the product, the same thing we do with the service, we're doing for people. And I love that idea about how we could make investments. And this isn't a new thing. It's just the collaboration that we have. And I'm thankful for partnerships like I've had with Cody and Stephanie and Hugh over the past, and even our early conversations, Senator English, of being invested in how do we design a state, not like any other state, a place where it all fits. There's a path, there's a process, and it fits together because we've got to meet people and transform their lives in a way they can only imagine. So it's my privilege, my honor to introduce the next speaker, Cody Waits.
Thank you, Reverend.
It's always a pleasure to get to follow Mike, right? He brings the energy no matter where he's at. We just had a WIOA Partners Conference meeting last week, and he brought that same energy as well. You know, the other thing that was mentioned when you were rattling off those names, I was thinking as well, like if you named your kid Mars, right, and everyone would say, "Hi, Mars," as part of the missile defense system down in Camden. Some of you didn't get that joke, so I hope our South Arkansas people did. But at the end of the day, again, everyone's kind of, when you get to go last, everyone kind of takes a few of the things that you were going to say. But I kind of want to talk about the process that went into this. This was about 6 months ago. We really started getting in the thick of this. And I'm going to look at my friend Tina Moore in the back a little bit because if you don't know Tina, she did a lot of legwork as it relates to just the coordination, the logistics, setting up the RFPs, the webinars. And so I just want to give a round of applause for Tina real quick and the work that she did. And I think that just goes to show the intentionality that the governor set forth through Mike and through Hugh as part of the workforce strategy, the workforce cabinet, to us working collaboratively across departments to ensure that we were able to work together to make sure that this $48 million was spent efficiently and effectively. And Mike's right, it was a business decision. There was no looking at it any other way. It was really what makes sense from our workforce and economic development priorities and how are we going to invest in that in the long term. So I look back and on the last day of the RFP and when letters of intent were filed, and I'm going to look at all of you in the crowd and I'm just kind of curious, at one point we had 46 letters of intent on the last day that they were to be submitted, and we said, well, maybe we're not going to get as many as we thought. And by the end of the day, we had 152, I think. So it's good to see that we got that done because we were wondering what was going on there. But, you look at that and you fast forward just a few weeks later, we had gone through and we reviewed all those letters of intent and it boiled that down to less than 50 in terms of the number of applicants that we moved forward to that next phase. And then now you look today and we're down to 19 that we're sitting here today congratulating for the work that you've done. And Mike's right. The work doesn't start today. I mean, it doesn't end today. It really starts today. So a couple other things I want to mention is, OSD. There's been a lot of talk about OSD and Stephanie and her leadership. One of the things that you're hearing a little bit about right now is government efficiency. And I think you got to look at the Skills Development Office and the vision of Senator English years ago in terms of government efficient. It starts right there. You're talking about a group that on an annual basis oversees just shy of about $50 million a year with a staff of 11. And not too long ago, we were in this same room announcing Align grants, right? Arkansas links industry to growing nurses. That was a tune of about $25 million that's going to funnel through the Office of Skills Development. They're working with a number of you to deploy those funds. And now these same $48 million are also flowing through the Office of Skills Development, and they're doing it without increase in headcount. They're not asking for administrative fees, and they're doing it with the work that they do every day. So I want to give a round of applause to Stephanie and Office of Skills Development and the team that they do every single day. And in closing, and before we get to the ceremonial pictures and big checks, and I hope everyone loves a big check, there's not a conversation that doesn't take place, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, when we're in these rooms having conversations with businesses either looking to expand their footprint in Arkansas, looking to relocate their business here in Arkansas, or just kind of understanding what the landscape looks like that we don't get asked about workforce. And so, this investment today, the investment we made previously, and the investments we're going to continue to make sends a strong message, not just here in the state of Arkansas, but nationally and globally, that Arkansas is here to compete. And this work helps Clint O'Neill and his team within economic development do their job better. So with that, a couple of housekeeping items. Stephanie, please join us up here as she's going to do the MC. When your organization is called, please proceed up here to the front. With legislators, if you would like to join for the picture, please do so as well. And we're going to get started with the ceremony. So thank you all very much.